Shwmai, croeso, hello and welcome to episode 34 of the Bluebirds Nest. This week, whilst proudly wearing this year's Macron home shirt, sponsored by Clegg Gifford Insurance Brokers, I am delighted to welcome the longest serving member of the playing squad. It's Mr. Ricky Watts. Welcome to the Nest, Rick.
Evening, Ray. Thank you for having me on. Thank you, mate.
It's been a long time
coming.
It has been. I've been chasing you for a long time. I finally got you on. And looking back, who would have thought you'd been 13 years roughly? I think it was back in 2010 when you made your debut. Yeah. That we'd now be calling you a European footballer. It's some journey you've been on.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Obviously, yeah, I have to keep on sort of believing that the opportunity to come. But yeah, it's obviously happened towards the twilight side of my career. But yeah, I appreciate it nonetheless. Yeah, it's great experience, and hopefully again now next season. So
fingers crossed. Well, let's go back to the start then, as we normally do. Junior football. Tell us where you sort of started your football in at grassroots level. Who coached you and where you'd be. I've got an idea where it was, but tell us where did it start?
Yeah, so obviously my family were part of the club. For my old man was the manager there and whatnot. But yeah, Camrose Football Club. I think I started off about 6 years of age. The first real manager I remember was Kanga. We had a great team. I played for the year above, but yeah, what a side we had then. And then I played for them till I was about 13, maybe something like that, 12, 13s. And then Graham Ford. Then I played under him with obviously I met a lot of good friends through that as well. Till 16 before I made my first team sort of senior debut then for Camrose. And had about 6 months of playing for the first team. Yeah.
And that's when you were snapped up then, was it, by Haverfordwest County?
Snapped up by Ronnie Bain and the legend himself, yeah.
And what was that, into the development squad, the youth team?
Yeah, into the development squad. And obviously played with a lot of good boys here, like your Craig Georges, Morgan Whitaker, some good boys in that team. Obviously was playing well, playing midfield, and managed to get there and obviously turn a few heads and work my way in, try and get into the first team.
I was trying to do the maths on it. Was it Wolvesy then who brought you in for the first time?
No, it was Derek Brazil.
Right.
Derek Brazil was the manager at the time. Wolvesy probably still playing. So, Derek Brazil was manager at the time. Managed to get on. I was on the bench. I think it was a Bangor away. Didn't get on. I think it was either Bangor away or home. I didn't get on. Obviously, yes, kept working hard. Brought me on for 4 minutes against Connecticut at home, which all counts. And then a couple of weeks after that, then made my first team start. Then played 90 minutes against Aberystwyth at home in the snow. So yeah, it was. One to remember, but obviously didn't get a result on the day. But for me personally, start of a great career down the club.
Yeah, you mentioned positions there. We'll come back to that shortly, but there's plenty of squad photos with your youthful face in right up until the present day, and
still looking youthful.
I remember back probably 10 years ago now as an athlete of a right back. In my first few seasons, sort of in and around the club. I remember we played quite a narrow midfield diamond, and it just allowed you to sort of bomb on down the right-hand side. It was some great few seasons there, on and off the pitch, I will say, with tours and things like that. But promotion from the Cymru South did come for you, that infamous 5-0 win that you remember at Aberdeen. Hard to forget that one. But that gave you your first proper season, I suppose, then, in the Cymru Premier. Looking back, what do you think the difference is between that season you had in 15-16, I think I'm right in saying, and to what it's like now, in the last few years being back there?
Obviously, there's always been quality players in this league, but I think there's more of a draw to you look at your Jazzes, your Dave Edwards. There's plenty of them. Obviously, ex-academy players. There's a lot of lot of boys playing this at this standard now, and yeah, the quality's improved, and the professionalism of the league has improved massively. Yeah, and like you can get great opportunities to play in Europe from doing well in it as well. Yeah, so.
Yeah, definitely you can see the athleticism and the professionalism and everything has changed in just a short few years, really. But
yeah,
similar, it sort of mirrors the journey that our own club have been on. A lot has changed. I think you've had a fair few different chairmen over the years and, of course, managers then.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on, in particular, what Rob and the board have done over these last few years?
Oh, yeah, what Rob, he come in with a goal and what he wanted to do within 3 years, and I think he's overachieved, if anything. But, yeah, it's been amazing what the club has done for, obviously, the team, for the club itself, what Rob's done and the board and whatnot, but what they've done in the community as well. You see, if you go, whoever comes to home games, how many kids are down watching, wanting signed shirts, you know, that they're the future of Half West. So, you know, stuff like that is one massive telltale sign of what the club has done, getting a lot more kids down there. You know, they want to play in Europe. They want to do what we've done. So, yeah.
I think perhaps we do take it for granted now that that's a weekly occurrence. You know, you players and staff are coming to the steps to go into the change room, and you're getting asked for autographs, and you see some kids.
It's a bit weird, but
I can imagine. You know, at the end of the day, a lot has changed, but that is testament to what, like I said, the Rob and the board and everybody have done on and off the field. It's good to see when you sit and look back that actually it's quite remarkable. But let's go on to positions then. You mentioned that you started perhaps in midfield. I remember you, and I think you had some great years, as I said, as that flying wing back. You've evolved into the midfielder again over the last few years, and now find yourself occupying probably most of the time in a back three. Yeah. Where do you prefer playing? You know, what are your thoughts on being that versatile?
They call me John O'Shea. My favorite position, it always has been, is a midfield, like a deep liar. You know, I personally like breaking up play, winning balls back, just giving it to like your creative players. You can go and win a game. That's what I like. I got a bit of a dog about me. I know. I've played long enough now. I know what my strengths are and what my weaknesses are. But yeah, it's funny how I come around to play at right back. So I think we were playing Goodwick in pre-season down there, and Darren Brace was playing right back. Wolves' manager at the time, and I think it was about 10 minutes into the game. We didn't have cover for right back, so Darren's gone off. Wolves, he's like, "Oh, can you just fill in for me?" I was like, "Oh, go on then." And probably had like one of my best games, obviously under Wolsey, and he never moved me after that. But yeah, no, obviously wherever the manager wants me to play, I'll always give him 100%. But yeah, it's always an advantage. It's advantage and it's disadvantage. You know, I can fill in and, you know, with injuries and whatnot, but then the downside is it's hard to nail down a spot if you're getting chopped and changed. But, you know, as long as I'm playing, I'm happy.
Enough. Well, another shift in position a couple of weeks ago. Late on, it was probably like the 85th minute or whatever, up at Barrytown United. 2 goals in injury time to snatch a draw in what was probably, well, a remarkable draw at the end of it, but a very memorable one for you, getting in team of the week and things like that off the back.
Yeah, definitely.
I also remember last year you were at the back post to finish off a great team move against Pembrokeshire. What stands for you? What's your favourite goal? You don't get many, to be fair, but when you do, they're big ones.
Oh, boys always laugh. I have scored quite a few good goals in my time, but
yeah, you have.
Yeah, obviously in the lower league, they don't obviously get filmed and highlights, but I've scored a couple of good volleys from the edge of the box. But definitely no, you know, games like that where I've popped up with 2 goals against Barry, where, you know, we haven't had the best of starts of the season. Every point counts, and to get a point for the team, yeah, that's massive. Yeah, So, yeah, at the moment, obviously, I seem to every time I score, I'm in the head.
Well,
I need to score. I need to start scoring more.
Yeah. Let's come to more the present day. Then this summer it was a busy one for you. Let's go back to Cardiff Met and Newtown first, the semi-final and the final. You came on as a sub in both those games, relatively close to the end. I think fresh legs, your experience and that coming on. I remember in particular, and I spoke to you about it, I think either that night or certainly shortly after, you made a great tackle. I think it was in extra time, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, in the final, yeah.
In the final, yeah, you made a really good sort of block and you pinched the ball. You came away with it right at the death. You were pretty much one-on-one at the back.
Yeah.
But, were you ready to take a penalty in either of those games?
The boys wind up, but I have taken penalties and penalty shoots out. But obviously, on the day, there's probably better technical strikers of the ball than myself. So I'd been ready. I was up next.
Were you?
I know. That's what I tell everyone. Yeah.
And there's probably about 4 or 5 boys saying the same thing, no doubt.
Yeah.
We'll never know. We'll never know. But it was after Newton, and 2 short weeks off before pre-season pretty much, kicked straight back in. Carmarthen on a number of ones, but in particular those friendly games. I'll always remember when I think of you is the LAN fixture. It was about 10 or 15 minutes in, and you're getting stretchered off with a Jenks tucked you up a little bit there. We'll throw him under the bus here.
I owe him one.
Any memories of it?
Any memories? No, I thought I was in Macedonia at the time. Honestly, I went in the change room, obviously, because we had all the build-up of getting ready for Macedonia. When I woke up, well, I didn't wake up, but I was lying in the physio's room, medical room, and I thought I was in Macedonia. So, not too great. And then, I missed, I think it was like 2 weeks in with obviously concussion. So, it wasn't great sort of preparation then for Europe, but yeah.
There's I managed to get some good video footage of it, so no doubt it might drop in
a slow-mo the one
documentary episode. You might feature in that, but
it's
quite unnerving. But thankfully, you did sort of, you made it out for the second half. And you were in the stand with a big smile on your face, sort of counting your teeth. I think where
stuck it like a champ.
You did, because watching it back and when you see it again. Jenks, obviously, for those that don't know, cleared the ball, and innocently, to be fair, he smashed it. It was probably going up the other side of the pitch.
Yeah.
It's gone straight as you're turning. It's caught you straight in the side of the face.
Yeah.
It was. You took it well, to be fair. You went down like it was a heavyweight boxer.
Normally, Jenks heads the ball. He doesn't kick it. So
I know he caught it so sweet. It was like that goal he scored, to be fair. So we'll give him something. Yeah. He was practicing.
Yeah.
Like you said, you had a spell off with a head injury and things like that then, but your next appearance, I think I'm right in saying, was about 25 minutes into that game over in Skopje in North Macedonia. You had a great game, I got to say, to come on at that, at that stage. It earned you your start at the Cardiff City Stadium then, obviously in front of your family and a home crowd and things. I would go as far as saying that's probably the best game I've ever seen you play as well in Cardiff. You were phenomenal, as were many, but I think it was quite fitting. And I remember this at the end of the night. I don't know whether you remember this. We were leaving, obviously, the changing rooms, and Sully, obviously, Chris O'Sullivan, former teammate and manager of yours, he picked up, I don't know how you must have put them down to chat to somebody.
I'll pick my boots up, yeah.
And I think, and he turned to me and he said, right, look how times have changed. I used to carry this guy when he was a youngster, and now I'm carrying his boots. And we all laugh, and I remember him hugging you, and you had that moment, and it was nice to see sort of, he's obviously been there when you were a young footballer coming through the ranks, and he almost a mentor for you for many years.
Definitely, yeah.
You were obviously subbed off near the end of that game. You were shattered, but what was it like on the pitch that night? That's such an occasion. Having been through years and years with the club, what was that like?
Oh, unbelievable! Yeah, it was an amazing experience. Like you say, to have obviously past and obviously great mates there watching, my family, and obviously to achieve what we achieved, making history for the club. Yeah, it was yeah, great night. You know, it's still one that pinch me. Am I awake? Am I dreaming or am I awake? But yeah, it's always smile and have great memories when when I think back, and like obviously something to tell the grandkids. And
yeah, exactly. I think you were shattered. I remember looking at you in the dugout, and I think it was deep into extra time when you came off. I think Lucas, again, it's almost like, you know, a new, like yourself, going back 13 years, almost like a new version of you, Lucas. He came in, he slotted into the back, into defence really well. I think you did manage to get some energy from somewhere to run over and celebrate the shootout, though, did you?
Yeah, I don't know how, but yeah. Yeah, no, mate. I was cramping up. I think I had cramp in both calves, both hamstrings. I somehow got across there. I could not celebrate. It's amazing achievement for all the boys and all the club as well. Like,
phenomenal. And again, the footage of everybody running towards Zach or the crowd wherever they went. I think there's yourself. Yeah, that sort of. There's Rio, who was obviously carrying a hamstring injury. Caden, hamstring. Pat struggling with his back.
I think Oscar was as well, and he was carrying something. He's limping across.
Everybody was going across. Was sort of, it went over in sort of slow motion. It was. I'll have to put it in fast forward for the videos.
Yeah, the walking wounded.
That obviously, it was a short turnaround. You know, there wasn't many days to recover and recuperate from that marathon of a game. Again, another moment for the scrapbook of your footballing career in the Faroe Islands, when obviously Jazz came off at halftime, and Tony said, "Where's the armband?" That must have been again a great moment to cherish for you, leading the boys out for the second half.
Oh, definitely, yeah. To say you've captained your team in a European fixture, it's surreal moment for myself and obviously my family and whatnot. It'll go down in history for years, and one we'll remember forever. But yeah, it sort of give me, obviously for me on that day, it gave me that bit of boost of energy, because I just wanted to. I'm not the most vocal bloke in the team, but what I like to do is try and lead by example. So especially when I put that on, I felt like I had a duty to just, like I was saying earlier, just go around dog, win ball, and hopefully the boys would follow me into it. So I think we come away from there with a good result to take into the next, obviously the home leg. So.
Yeah, and I'm going to give it this one. I know it slightly brushed Tyrese on the way past, but I'm taking
that. He's not meant that.
Second leg in Cardiff, you get onto the, I think it was Dan Hawkins' free kick into the box. A great header. Mate, there's no way you're heading that 13 years ago. That was... You did. It was a great header back across the box, and Forsey tucked it in. But again, the buzz, that must have been incredible, running over to 2,500 people.
Oh, amazing! Yeah, well, for Forsey as well, just for him to score in Europe. Obviously, I was hoping they'd go on flash scores and see that I had the assist, but I seen Ty had it. But
never. Oh.
Yeah, I was human. But no, amazing. Just be able to celebrate in front of all the fans.
Yeah.
You know, thinking that, you know, we can go on to do something special again. But obviously, obviously with the decision that was taken away from us. But still an amazing night. And
One to challenge.
Yeah.
Well, it was that was just the start of your summer, because obviously the 2 goals at Barry, team of the week, and then to end that week, just the start of September, you and Ellie obviously got married after being together probably 13 years, if not more, is it? And
she's been on to me. She was on to me for a while. Where's my ring?
Well, you're right. She's been a fantastic supporter of you. You know, she's there every home game. She's seen often away games and things like that as well. Any football mentions in the speeches or anything?
No, I didn't know. I had what I had written down, and I was like, that's all I'm saying, because I'm not the best at speaking, public speaking. So what I wrote down on my little notes, I was like, right, I'm sticking to them. I'm not going off script. But yeah, I wish I mentioned the 2-goal hero. But,
I did wonder that week whether that would come out in the best man speech or something like that. But no, some week for you that.
They're on by my golf. Me being a sulking golfer.
Well, that's the thing. Multi-talented you are.
Yeah.
One of my final questions. I've got to mention this. It was the week we were just about to travel to the Faroe Islands, and I think we were to fly on the Wednesday, and on the Tuesday, around about lunchtime, an Instagram story popped up, which is, to be fair, quite rare for you, but you were on a roof in Tembe, obviously fixing a roof in the day job. 27 degrees. It looked a cracking day, to be fair, up on a roof in Tembe, overlooking North Beach.
Yeah.
Just 48 hours before you're captain in the club in Europe. It's unbelievable almost. But the story, I think a few of us told one of the athletic reporters who followed us across Europe. He got wind of that story, and he interviewed you about it, and it got into the article, and it really sums up sort of, who we all are at the heart of it.
Yeah.
We've got full-time jobs outside of this, the majority of us, so I got to ask, your father-in-law is your boss.
Yeah.
With all the annual leave you've been cashing in over the summer,
I got no holidays left. No, obviously, obviously he's my boss and he's got a partner. Yeah, they've been absolutely brilliant. Even throughout the whole of the season, if I got to leave early, if we got an away game, the buses leaving at 4:30. They let me finish. Couldn't ask for better bosses, better father-in-law. And even they're just proud to have me give me the opportunity to play in Europe, and go and enjoy it.
And we best give them a shout out now. What's the company called, Rick?
SDP Roofing Limited.
Nice.
Roofing Services, I think. Sorry, you get that right. I'll get them to sponsor me now this year.
Well, you've given them a big shout out now to the masses.
Yeah.
Right, we'll come on to the final question now then. And we're going to debut a new segment of The Nest. Last year, we put our 5-a-side dream teams together. But this season, with some of our guests, we're going to build your perfect player. So, obviously, with yourself playing for a number of years, over a decade at the club, I want a right foot, a left foot, technical ability, aerial ability, a talker, and the footballing brain. So we'll go right back first then. Right footer first. Who's your right footer?
I'm going to go for Jazz. This reason is we have a little joke about in training. To be honest, he puts on he calls money ball when we're putting crosses in, and he puts it on the money every time for the strikers. So yeah, right foot, just from him. Yeah, there's so many good right footers, but just put that. It's in my head.
I can imagine you're going to have pelters off the others you don't mention.
I know.
I've been wondering who you're going to go with this. When I obviously briefed you and said, this is the question that's coming at the end, I wondered who you go. But yeah, it's a fair shout, Jazz and his money ball then. Left footer.
I don't know. Obviously, the oldies remember him. Richie Lou. Yeah, what a left foot. I've seen him score some unbelievable goals. And what a bloke as well. But Richie Lou.
Good guy. That's a decent pair of feet we got on this player. Anyway, technical ability.
I'm gonna have to go. Obviously, I've only played with him this season, but Kai Whitmore. What he done in Europe and what I see in training and games, the way he can go past blokes. Yeah, he's a serious talent. Talent. Yeah.
I'm looking forward. I think many people are looking forward to the episode we managed to get Kai to come and have a conversation as well.
Oh God, that will be hilarious.
Aerial ability next then.
I think everybody knows who this is, even though we've got a couple of good headers in our team now, like Jenks, but the only one and only Sean Pemberton.
I don't
think I've ever seen him lose a header.
Don't tell him that. If you want to come back. Last two then, a talker. Who's your talker?
Obviously our skipper, Dylan Rees. He's what a captain. Obviously he played under some great captains. But yeah, Dylan, the way he talks to the boys and with the manager on and off the pitch, he's another great player, but as a leader, he's outstanding,
you can see how much he inspires the boys. He's
one of them you'd follow into the trenches.
Definitely. He's proven to be a big loss this season, and he got married on the same day as you. Obviously,
I know.
coincidentally.
What day it was as well. What the weather.
I know. It was a scorcher. You were lucky, but I believe he's had his operation and recuperating. I think Tristan, obviously the club is working with him up at West Health. But the final one then, the footballing brain.
Yeah. Obviously, I played with a lot of great players. But I'm going to say Lee Trundle. I know it's saying I could have put him as a left footer, but yeah, just obviously when I played in the Cymru South with him, who do we have up top? I think we had Forsey and Danny Wills.
Yeah.
Obviously, he scored a number of goals himself, but there's movement, the way he could, and I think Danny Wills scored so many, loads of goals that season as well, just from Trundle's movement, the way he could pick a pass, drag blokes out. So yeah, for that I'd have to put Trunds in there.
Can't argue with that.
Not a bad player, that. Not a bad.
That is some player that you've picked there. That's going to take some beating. I look forward to finding out other people's opinions on that one.
Yeah.
Right, nearly at a close then. Just this weekend's fixtures to remind you about now. We are back at the Oggy Bridge Meadow, home to Connors Quay Nomads. Kick-off at 2:30 p.m. this weekend. And before the next episode of the Nest podcast is back out, there's also an away game this coming Tuesday, which will be covered with a Bluebirds Nest live broadcast. It's a 7:45 p.m. kickoff, so the broadcast will start around about 7:40, and the link will be out across the socials over the next few days. Rick, thank you for your time. It's been a nice walk down memory lane somewhat with all the stories, but best of luck this weekend. And obviously for the rest of the season, and we look forward to seeing you in more teams of the week in the near future.
I hope so, mate. I do hope so. No, thank you, mate. I've enjoyed it. Appreciate it.
Speak to you soon.
Saturday. Cheers, mate.